to Kush News, the newscast of the African diaspora. I'm your anchor, Ochanda, daily bringing you the top stories from Africa and the Caribbean. Let's take a look at today's news on Thursday, August 10th, 2023. We go to Niger, where West African nations assemble a standby force. The West African nations, known as ecowas, have approved an armed intervention in Niger as soon as possible. At the meeting, leaders of ECOWAS said that they had agreed to assemble a standby military force. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu said that the use of a force would be a last resort. The military in Niger seized power back on July 26th. The African Union say that they are concerned about the health and the safety of then President Mohamed Bazoum, who has spent more than 2 weeks under house arrest. U.S. Secretary General said that he is also concerned about deplorable living conditions for Mr. Bazoum. After the ECOWAS meeting, Ivory Coast's Alassane Ouattara said that ECOWAS had intervened in African countries in order to restore constitutional order. Mr. Ouattara said that the Ivory Coast would provide a battalion of at least 800 men, and said that the soldiers from Niger and Benin will also be deployed. Omar Touré, the president of the ECOWAS, said that members have decided to order the deployment of the ECOWAS standby force to restore the constitutional order in Niger. Also, ECOWAS had said that no option is taken off of the table, including the use of force as a last resort. ECOWAS had issued a deadline of last Sunday to the military in Niger to restore the democratically elected government, but it was ignored. Instead, military leaders named a new ruling cabinet. Those in Niger, let us know on if you feel that a military intervention from outside of Niger will take place. Let's go to East Africa, where Kenya and Somalia renew ties. Kenya and Somalia signed a bilateral air service agreement on Wednesday, opening the two countries' airspace to each other. The Cabinet Secretary for Transport, Kipchumba Murkomen, said that the deal will not only benefit Kenya Airways but other airlines as well. He said that this agreement means that airlines will be designated to fly to Mogadishu and Nairobi, but this will depend on the designations that will be done by ministries across the country. He also said that the two governments had decided that the civil aviation authorities will work together. The cabinet secretary also continued saying that Kenya Airways will now be required to write to the ministry to get necessary air transit approvals. It is anchored on traffic lights, frequency, and capacity, with code sharing as well. KQ suspended its plans to launch the flights to Hargeisa in Somaliland back in May of 2021 over what it termed a lack of clearance and approvals. Somalia initially protested Nairobi's strict aviation rules that required stopovers in Wajir. Those in Kenya, let us know how you feel, and those in Somalia, let us know how you feel about the new tie for airspace. Let's go to the Caribbean, and there we have women making history. Mother and daughter have made history, and history was created today as two Antiguans became the first mother and daughter duo from the Caribbean to head into outer space. Keisha Shahaf, a health coach, and her daughter Anastasia Mayers, a student, also took off from the spaceport in New Mexico earlier today via the Virgin Galactic VSS Unity. They experienced weightlessness for a few minutes as they flew about 55 miles above the Earth's surface. Keisha and her daughter were able to make their historic journey after winning a competition back in November of 2021. They were joined on their journey by British Olympian John Goodwin, who was the first to buy a ticket back in 2005. This is Virgin Galactic's second commercial flight into space. The lucky ladies are experiencing the trip, which has a price tag of about 200,000. A large public viewing party was held in St. John's in Antigua to witness the journey, and also Antigua's Prime Minister Gaston Brown encouraged young Antiguans and Barbudans to be inspired by this journey. He also added that Antigua and Barbuda will be forever remembered among the stars, and there are no limits to what Antigua and Barbudans can achieve. Those in Antigua and Barbuda, let us know your thoughts, and congratulations from Kush News on to you, Keisha, and your daughter. Wow, making the Caribbean proud, seeing outer space. That's pretty far out. When we come back, we'll have today's African proverb of the day. Don't go anywhere.
What's going on? I'm MC Cadero, and I'm here at a graduation party. Double graduation party that I was booked for. That's right, you can also book me with 15 years experience. It's www.mccadero.com. See you soon.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at today's African proverb of the day, and it comes to us from the Maasai. What's going on? I wish I spoke some Maasai. I don't currently, but one of these days I'll do it. And it reads, the night has ears. Once again, the night has ears. Maasai proverb. If I could translate this into anything, I would say that, don't think that whatever you're doing, nobody's watching. There's always somebody watching. It might not be somebody of high importance to you, but somebody is in fact always watching. Somebody in fact is always listening. So always keep that in mind. Let me know your interpretation of today's African proverb of the day, as well as your thoughts, views, questions, comments, and concerns on the top stories. Don't forget to hit that like button, make it your best friend. For Kush News on Kush Convos TV, I'm Ochanda. We'll see you soon.